because the Western media have put up the force field with regard to events in Syria. They don't want to know anything about it. They're not touching it. They're concentrating on phony genocides in Gaza whilst ignoring a real genocide in Syria. I'd like to delve into that with you now.
The situation in Syria is really tragic. It's uh, it's absolutely devastating with the images that we saw and we're still seeing. Is something that the human mind will find it difficult to even imagine and comprehend. Killing babies, raping women, burning people alive, uh, vandalizing anything that they can. And they did that to churches as well. There is a
Oh,
Christian
yes.
community
Oh,
in
yes.
Sweden. There's a small Christian community, 20,000, I think. They have a church there. They went to the church and they vandalized everything and killed people.
Mm.
Even, I mean, we're still receiving evidences. We saw the terrible video of the hospital.
Oh, yes.
They're shooting staff just because they're Druze. They didn't do anything. A doctor, how is a doctor threat to anyone? How is a doctor bad to any religion? I mean, he was just treating people despite of their religion, faith, or whatever. You know, anyone who goes into the hospital would get treated.
Mm.
Um, we have, I mean, there are people, religious women, who thought when they heard what's happening, they thought that the best place to hide is the house of God. Okay, so they went to the Khilwe and just
Yes.
sat there, with the
Mm.
children, women and children, only women and babies. They
Mm.
went inside, they killed everyone and burned the place.
Mm. Mm. We've
They
seen that
shot,
script before. Yes, it's a recurring
yeah,
theme here. Yeah,
yeah,
Vitor.
absolutely. And I mean, we still have approximately 40 small villages where no one entered. They're located. See, I'll give you a brief on the Sweda
Mm.
region. The
Please.
Sweda region, Sweda is a very large area. It's half the size of the state of Israel. Okay, so in Sweda, you have the east side and you have the west side. The east side of Sweda, where they entered into the villages and did what they did, it's not an area of mountains. It's sort of a desert, flat area. You
Mm.
do not have big cities there. It's small villages are not close to each other. So they went to the west side of the Sweda region, and they started going inside the villages. Now the men were mainly the men who were able to fight were outside the villages doing other things, trying to control the region because it's a very big area. As I said, half of the size of the state of Israel. But the main concentration is on the east side. The east side is an area of mountains and hills, so it's very difficult to try to occupy it if you don't have a heavy equipment. And that's why in east side of Sweden, you have the largest city in the Sweden region is Sweden itself, and then you have Kanawat, you have Jaramana, you have many cities. These cities, they tried to enter the outskirts of these cities, but they were stopped. But we still have 40 villages. The number is absolutely devastating. 40 villages that even after 30 days, no one can enter these villages to check how many people died inside. So you have corpses, bodies still inside the houses. They sent some people to try to see what's happening in these villages, and they returned and said that some of they tried to enter two houses, and these two houses had bombs inside, just waiting for anyone to enter. It
Booby
will explode.
trapped. Booby trapped. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Booby
yeah,
trapped.
yeah. It was a trap. But
Mm.
they said that they saw people,
Mm.
people being killed while eating. They didn't even
Yes.
give them
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
chance to stand up. Just, you're sitting, having dinner with your family. They just shot everyone and went outside.
Mm.
The shaving mustaches of religious
Yes.
people as a sign of
Yeah,
Yeah.
saw
humiliations,
that.
just like the Holocaust. Absolutely devastating sceneries. I mean, I saw a video that it wasn't made public because it had naked
Mm.
women and girls. And what they did was something, you wouldn't even imagine that a
I think
human being can
I
do that.
well, one shouldn't be able to imagine it, but unfortunately, we've become accustomed to it here. Unfortunately, Anan, that is the sad story, and
Yeah,
that the Western media deliberately ignores, and this is an absolute outrage. While focusing on Israel and events that don't happen in Gaza, and ignoring a real genocide, that in itself, I think, is to be accomplices in a crime against humanity.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we're working on this as well. Last Saturday, we met with a few congressmen who came to Israel.
Mm,
We have a delegation of congressmen and women that came to Israel to see that there is no starvation in Gaza, and they came to Tiberias,
mm,
and so we took this opportunity and we went to. We asked for permission to meet them on a Saturday morning, and they
mm,
obviously said yes. So I went there with Sheikh Muwaffaq Tarif, with two members of Knesset and other respected people, and it was really interesting because I asked them directly, "Did you hear what's happening to the Druze in Sweden before you came here?" And they said, "No, we know there's a civil war in Syria. So just like the media is saying, it's clashes between minorities. There's a civil war since 2011, and there's continuing clashes between minorities. That's not clashes between minorities. That's ethnic cleansing. That's trying to kill people based on their religion and based on a disgusting belief of these extremists who have nothing to do with Islam. By the way, that's not Islam. That's
no, of course
crazy
we're not.
people. Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy people who decided to interpret certain words, and say that we're allowed to kill everyone. So the sad part is they started with the Alawites by the seashore. They
Mm,
killed approximately 20,000. I'm not sure about the number, but they killed many of the
mm,
Alawites. Then
yeah.
they moved to the Druze, and then they said, "We're coming to the Yazidis. We're coming. You're next."
Mm,
The
mm,
Yazidis are next. And the punchline, their leader was standing with a weapon saying, "Jerusalem, we are coming."
yes, yes,
So that
the
they're not
so-called
gonna stop. They're not
Al-Julani.
gonna stop with yeah. They're not gonna stop
Mm,
with the Druze or with any other minorities. They
yeah.
have a plan, and as Sheikh Muwaffaq Tarif said to the congressman, he said that if the world does not wake up and stop them, you will have them next in Saudi Arabia, you'll have them, and eventually you'll have them in the United States, and eventually, sadly, you will have another September 11th knocking on your door.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They don't seem to the idea of even cutting a deal with these monsters, I find perverse and absurd.
Yeah, I mean, look, Julani, he used to be a terrorist. I mean, I'm not making
Well,
this up or saying it.
not
Well,
used to. He
there's the
continues
video
to. Yes,
evidence. Yeah,
yes. No, he
video. He
continues to.
started with Al Qaeda, which is
Yeah,
was back then the most extreme. Then moved
yeah,
to other places, and then
yeah,
HTS or whatever,
yeah.
with different names. And then the moment he put a suit and a tie and a
Mm,
fancy watch on, all the bans were lifted, and they treat him like he's a hero now, and he was invited. He's invited, by the way, to the United Nations.
mm,
How
mm,
can
mm.
you invite a terrorist to speak at the United Nations when
Well,
people in his
Well, it's
country
not
are dying?
Anan.
Anan,
He's not the first. He's not the first. There are plenty of nasty people in the United Nations.
I
If you
know.
if you look at the committee for the women rights, Iran is there. So so that's
Yeah, I
very
know.
telling. If Iran is leading human rights, it's no wonder that that guy is invited. He's there
we
among
shouldn't be
friends.
surprised. We shouldn't be
Yes.
surprised in the sense that Yasser Arafat was invited years ago, and all the collective degenerates were invited. That's why the United Nations has no real authority. It cannot be taken seriously. He
Yes,
was a
the only
yeah. Go
the
ahead. Sorry.
difference is that he's invited while these atrocities are happening as we speak.
Oh
So
yes,
while he
yes.
will be standing
Yeah.
there, people
Oh yes.
will be trying to kill people based on their religion, color, or whatever.
Indeed,
You know, the
indeed.
problem is with the Sweda region. He's trying to say that we have it's got nothing to do with Syria as a country. It's groups of Bedouins because the Bedouins tribes are comprised of 150 tribes in that
Mm,
region. So when the Assad regime collapsed, some of these tribes, or most of them, just took over the military equipment. So they have
mm,
tanks, they have drones, they have guns, they have weapons, they have everything. And some of them just want to join the party. So when Al Julani took over, uh, he's claiming that he has no authority or no control. They're not listening to him. Now that might be right to several tribes, but the other tribes, I mean, if we look at the videos, look at the video of the hospital that was
oh
released
yes.
Yeah.
yesterday. You see people with uniform. And now we have people we set up, in Julis. That's where Sheikh Muwaffaq Tarif, our
Yeah.
leader, is situated. We have a situation room there, and we have these a lot of ex-soldiers and young people who are very clever and smart with these AI
Mm,
tools, who are
mm,
building profiles, okay, to provide it to the army and to any other uh, entities. They're building profiles on people who participated, so to check if we have a recurring players.
mm,
So we can clearly see that some of the commanders, sometimes they're wearing uniform, and sometimes they're wearing religious clothes, and sometimes just wearing casual clothes while
mm.
committing atrocities in different places.
Yeah.
And that will help in building a case to the to the human rights courts.
I
Not that
wouldn't
it
hold
will
my,
help with anything.
I wouldn't hold my breath with regard to the Court of Human Rights. I don't think
Yeah,
anything
but
will happen.
that's only to make the world know about what's happening.
Mm, mm,
Mm.
mm.